Hey y'all, welcome back to the Lavender Bug Company. I'm Kat, and today we're talking children's books. I mean, of course, we're always talking about children's books, but we're talking about ones that inspire me. Hey y'all, so if you're new here, my name is Kat. I'm a busy mom of two, and I have written and illustrated my own children's book, The Adventure of Theodore James, which I will show later in this video as well. So if you haven't seen it, I will show it to you guys. And on this channel, I just talk about all things children's books, all the behind the scenes, small business, and all that kind of fun stuff. So if that sounds interesting to you, please subscribe. I'd love to have you around. We have quite the fun time over here. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So I wanted to share the books that I'm like most inspired by, because a lot of the times on social media, I talk about being inspired by the classics. And so I wanted to share some of the books that I kind of have the most connection to when I'm talking about classics and like the inspiration that I pull from. And two, I also wanted to kind of show some of the Easter eggs that I have in my first book for these like classics. And all of my children's books will actually have Easter eggs in them that kind of relate back to children's classics. Sorry if you can hear my dog eating. He's like right at my feet, and I'm not going to stop him from eating, so he'll be done soon, so just disregard it in the background. So of course, the first one is Peter Rabbit. I don't need to spend too much time on this one. I know I'm like beating a dead horse, but seriously, this is like my bread and butter. I absolutely love Peter Rabbit, love the illustrations. This is like a complete Beatrix Potter like set, so that's why this one's like so big. But I just absolutely love like her illustrations, her artwork. And I think my style to hers is very similar in the sense that I feel like hers is like simplified realism, which is kind of what I consider mine to be. So I find a lot of inspiration from her works as well. So I just absolutely love her stuff. And I love like how like whimsical and dreamy her stories are. I love it. Okay, next one is Little Bear. I love Little Bear, and I actually watched this a lot as a kid. I watched like the TV show version, and then I have actually shown that show to my kids. So if you want to like show that to your kids, it's on YouTube for free. So there's, I think like all the episodes are on there. I absolutely love the show. I love just like the books. I think they're so cute. I love the adventures like Little Bear goes on, and his like imagination, and I love his friends, and it's so sweet. And I just absolutely love Little Bear. I think it's so cute. Like when he goes to the moon, he has a little helmet on. So the next one for me that I absolutely love is Madeline. I love Madeline. And I think the reason why I love Madeline so much is the artwork in it. It's very different than the other ones. It's almost has this like almost like abstract kind of feel to it, even though it's not an abstract book. But I just like absolutely love the feeling of it. And I love how it's always kind of stuck within the same like tonal colors. Like it's just in the same, so it's like almost monochromatic, but it's not. So I just absolutely love it. As a parent now, the artwork and like the illustrations are one of the first things that like really draw me into a book. And I think the same is for a child. I mean, because you're using like the pictures tell a huge story with the book. So like for me, the artwork to me means a lot, and I absolutely love it. And I also love exposing my kids to like different styles of art. So it's not just the same exact thing all the time. And because you never know which style will really resonate with your kid. And like for me, I loved all these books from my childhood, and I loved all of them for different reasons. And I pull a lot of inspiration from them in different ways. And I'm also going to be using that inspiration in some of my upcoming books as well, because I'm also trying to challenge myself as an illustrator and not just doing the exact same thing every single time. I want people to be able to see kind of a variety of ideas and illustrations throughout my books. So the next one I have, because Theodore James was done all through color pencil, the entire thing's color pencil. The next one is going to be a very different vibe, because the main character will be in color pencil, but then the world around her is going to be all in watercolor. And that's to also help kind of play into the story as well. So you'll be able to kind of tell more about why I chose to do that when that time comes, but it was a purposeful thing. and all the illustrations that I choose and why I choose to do them is very purposeful. Okay, so the next one, obviously a fan favorite, is Winnie the Pooh. So absolutely love Winnie the Pooh. I love the original illustrations of Winnie the Pooh. Very just like simple, but just, oh, I just think they're so cute. There's something like so, like, I don't even know what the word is. What's the word that I'm trying to come up with? There's something so endearing about them. That's the word I wanted. Endearing. They're so endearing. And I just think they're so cute. Oh, I just absolutely love them. And I love Winnie the Pooh. I love the world of Winnie the Pooh. And, oh, it's just so cute. Yeah, if you don't have Winnie the Pooh in your kids' closet, I would definitely get it in there. It's definitely they're longer stories. They're more kind of like read aloud stories. So your kids probably definitely want to be a little bit older to do that. I would definitely give you a heads up on that, but they are just so cute. Look at that. Okay, so this next one, I absolutely love this book. I'm wanting to do a future book with this style, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. Because I absolutely love this. And so the whole book, the illustrations would be one of the Easter eggs in the book. So I love the whole idea of Easter eggs, and I just want to always kind of give a nod to the children's classics, because that's kind of the whole thing for me, is kind of giving an homage to those classics. But Make Way for Ducklings, I love this one. So for those of you who don't know, so this book is done like all like monochromatic. So it's all done in this like kind of brownish, not even like a taupey color, but it's kind of like almost like a rust color. And that's the whole book. But the illustrations are so cute, and I just absolutely love them so much. And I am wanting to do something very similar to this down the line. So I have an idea for a children's book way down the line, because I already have, so I'm working on book 2 now. I already know the next book I want to do. So this one might be like the 4th book that I come out with. And so I have a concept idea for the book. And it's kind of funny. So I did an Instagram live the other day and had such a blast. And one of the questions that she asked me was like, basically, how do I come up with my storylines? And for me, I think it's kind of a mixture, but so far it's been very organic. Like the characters have almost kind of like come to my mind, and their stories are just kind of like attached to them. So I know kind of exactly like what I'm wanting to say, what the message is going to be. And then it's basically me having to like fine tune out like the manuscript and things like that. And then actually get like the visuals like on paper and things like that. So, but I'm a very visual person, even in my mind. So I can see the whole story in my mind when I'm thinking of the character. So I imagine stuff a lot in my head. And so with this story too, wanting to do it all like monochromatic, and I just think it'd be a really cool idea. And I think that one is going to be like a really sweet story. So I'm very, very excited. I have many, many ideas. I have a running list on my phone at all times because I have ideas come to me constantly. Okay, so this one, I love this book. This copy has been like totally thrashed, but Curious George. So I was reading this to my son last night, so I just sneak it out of his room. Yeah, it's like totally coming off the spine. Like, we probably should try fixing that. But I absolutely love Curious George. I love the artwork in this one because, one, it's totally opposite than the last book I just showed. It's so colorful, and the drawings are just so fun for kids to look at, and to see George go through all these different like adventures, and he gets himself in so many headaches and things like that, and then he always manages to like figure everything out in the end. And I just absolutely love it. It's very it has more of that like cartoony vibe, which I really like, but it's done like in a really cute, like adoring way. So I don't think it comes across like corny or cheesy or anything like that, but I absolutely love the illustrations on this one. And I love Curious George himself, because at the end of the day, the character, even though he does get into a lot of mischief, he has a really good heart, and he simply gets into mischief just because he just doesn't know enough. And he has some ignorance, and I don't mean that in a bad way. He doesn't know enough yet to kind of maybe not do the things he's doing. So I think it's really cute, and it's really fun for kids to like read through. Okay, so these books here are probably the biggest ones that I am inspired by a lot. So when I reference like the classics, like children's classics, this is like a big bulk of them. Is it all of them? Absolutely not. But because I also love like Corduroy and Goodnight Moon, and you know, I absolutely love a ton of the classics, and I hold a lot of these really close to my heart. But this is where I pull a lot of inspiration from. So that's where I came with Theodore James. So this one is definitely encompassing all that I'm wanting to do as like an author and an illustrator and a company, and my whole passion of wanting to bring classic feeling literature, but for the modern child. I'm just wanting to give the classics kind of just a facelift for kids nowadays. I feel like kids today have not really had the opportunity to have their own classics to like really latch onto. I feel like people are kind of just like pumping out children's books just because they're like colorful and they have like funny characters and things like that, but they're missing a lot of the components from the classics that make them classic for a reason. And so with that, because I had mentioned like some of the Easter eggs from these books, and I had mentioned that there were some in here, and so I wanted to show some of the Easter eggs that are in here because I think they're really fun. I love Easter eggs because it's always like, it's like a little hunt. So this here, so on this page for Theodore's house, you see like a little lavender sprig stitched onto this little blanket. So a lot of people might think it might be for the Lavender Book Company, but it's actually for Peter Rabbit. So this one, so it shows just some of that like rabbit tobacco there. So cute, I love it. And then they also have some hanging up as well. And then the other one in this book too is this sign for Harold Who. So if you'll notice it, the way it's written, it's actually an homage to Winnie the Pooh. And because I always just remembered the way that Mr. Sanders sign like above Winnie the Pooh's like house, and it was kind of written kind of funny. And so I wanted to give kind of a nod to Winnie the Pooh as well. So that's the other Easter egg in this book. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed kind of going through some of these books. If you have read any of these books or if you enjoy them, let me know down below which ones you really like or which ones your kids really like. And if you have any questions for me, definitely leave them down below as well. Subscribe, I'd love to have you around. Give me a thumbs up if you guys like this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.